Okay, this is what my fuel pump looks like. This thing, I had it sitting back in the back where the fuel pump and the carpet was, and whenever I pulled this out of the tank, this was filled with a whole bunch of fuel. There was fuel dripping out of these lines and stuff, so I didn't want to get it all over my nice interior. So what I did is I flipped this upside down. It's like a bowl shape, you can see, and I put the fuel pump onto this, and then I carried this out of my car. I put it into that tray right there, and it worked. It didn't drip all over my car. But this is what the fuel pump looks like and everything. The next thing I'm going to have to do is the electrical wire. It doesn't connect directly into this. So what I'm doing is I've disconnected this, and I'm going to try to find a way to use this connector right here. I'll take this off of here and then try to just use the wires that come with this one and connect it to this blue thingamabob right there, and I'll just plug it directly into there and everything will work fine. So okay, all it looks like I have to do to remove this pump is there's like a screw right here that I gotta undo, and that will loosen all of this up. The pump will be able to slide off this way. There's some clips right here. All I gotta do are clamps. All I gotta do is squeeze those clamps with some pliers, and then this should slide off of here. And then there's this electrical connector right here. I'm gonna try to reuse that, but I disconnected it from here. There's like a little tab right there you had to push in like that, and then you just pull it out. And voila, there we go. I got it all disconnected. I just squeezed this right here and then removed this screw, and this whole base that held it on came off, and then this just kind of slid right on off. So it's all pretty easy to undo all of this. So there you go. Okay, this is the fuel pump right here. The electrical wiring, you can see the blue wire is positive and the black wire is the negative right there. And even on the pump, if I get it out here in the sunlight, even on the pump it says positive and negative right there. It's hard to see the negative. There. Negative, positive. Positive is blue, negative is the black wire. Okay, what I did is I spliced the wires from the Walbro 255 HP pump, and this is the wires that came with it, and then this is the stock wiring, and this goes inside of here. So the way that I spliced them together is I stripped the wires from the Walbro pump, and if this will focus here, the Walbro pump wiring is slightly larger than the stock wiring, and they sent 16, 14 size crimps, but I found that I can use the 22, 16 size, so that's what I used over here. And I crimped down on it after I connected them together, and then I soldered them together because there's like a little tiny hole inside of there, if you can see that. I just crimped it on the ends and it left that little hole right there, so I heated up the whole entire crimp and then fed solder into that hole, and the solder actually went back into the wiring about that far, because like whenever I go to bend the wire, it's kind of hardened back past where the crimp is. And then I used this stuff called Moto Seal gasket maker, and I put it over the exposed metal. The next thing I'm going to do is get this and then just wrap it all around the wire, so there won't be like any metal or whatever touching in the tank. But I don't think it really makes that much of a difference because there's no oxygen in the tank or something like that. But that's where I'm at right now. All I got to do is just put some clamps on here and then put the filter onto the bottom. And I didn't get one of these little connectors, so I just reused the old one. You just put this filter on, and then that will just fit over the end, and it holds the filter on a little bit. But there's the clamps that came with the Walbro pump. These are the stock clamps back here, but they're too small and weak, so I'm just going to use those. But that's where I'm at right now. Okay, I'm finishing up my pump here, and what I've done is I got the wrappings right here and rewrapped the wire harness and all of that, and I installed the pump. You just take this little screw out right here and take this little bracket off. I replaced the little rubber grommet or gasket at the base of the fuel pump. I replaced these things, these little clamps, with these clamps right here, and that's pretty much it. All I got to do is put the screws in these holes and put the pump back in, but that's what it looks like for right now. All redone and ready to go back into the fuel tank. Okay, I just installed my fuel pump back in there, if you can see it, and then I reconnected the electrical connector inside of the trunk to the battery. I reinstalled the relay right there, the electrical connection to the fuel pump relay, and now it's time to put the key in and try to start this thing. There, it did something, and here we go. There. That started like right up. And this is a Walbro 255 HP pump, and I don't hear no whining or anything. Sounds good to me. But that's it. I can't believe it. Now I'm ready for some serious horsepower.